Why don't we ever tell secrets around money? Because it always changes hands. A jest to kick things off. But isn't it intriguing how money, this tangible thing we handle daily, can be so elusive and complicated? Not today. Today, we're exploring finance from a fresh angle, the biblical perspective, a viewpoint that offers not just financial wisdom, but an abundant life. So buckle up as we embark on this fascinating journey of cultivating a biblical money mindset. Now, let's delve into the serious business of cultivating a biblical money mindset. Welcome to our channel where we explore the intersection of faith and finance. Today we're diving deep into the concept of a biblical money mindset. Now you might be wondering, what exactly is a biblical money mindset? Well, it's a perspective on money that's rooted in biblical principles, contrasting starkly with traditional financial wisdom. It's not about accumulating wealth for wealth's sake, but about stewarding God's resources wisely and generously. It's about finding contentment in what we have, expressing gratitude for God's provision, and trusting Him to meet our needs. It's about avoiding the pitfalls of materialism and greed, instead prioritizing spiritual riches over earthly ones. This mindset isn't about restricting our enjoyment of money, but about aligning our financial habits with our faith values. So stay tuned as we delve into this transformative perspective on finance. Remember, gratitude and contentment are key to this mindset. In a world that constantly pushes for more, the Bible teaches us to be content with what we have. This isn't about settling for less, but rather, it's about cultivating a sense of gratitude and peace with our present circumstances. It's about understanding that our worth isn't tied to the size of our bank accounts or the possessions we own. Instead, true wealth, according to the Bible, is found in the intangible, in love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, gentleness, and self-control. These are the treasures that money can't buy and thieves can't steal. Being content doesn't mean we don't strive for better. It means we appreciate the journey and not just the destination. It means we find joy in the now rather than postponing our happiness for some future financial milestone. But it doesn't stop at contentment. It extends to giving back. Giving back to God from what He has blessed us with is a central biblical principle. You might be familiar with the term tithing, which refers to the practice of giving 1/10 of our income back to God. This isn't about fulfilling a religious obligation, but about expressing our faith and gratitude for His blessings. Let's dive a little deeper. Tithing isn't simply about money, it's an act of faith that helps us put God first in our lives. It's a reminder that everything we have, the income we earn, the home we live in, are not truly ours, but are given to us by God. We are merely stewards of these resources. Now you might be wondering, what does it mean to be a steward? In the biblical sense, stewardship is about wisely managing the resources God has entrusted to us. This isn't limited to financial resources, but includes our time, talents, and even the environment around us. Stewardship isn't about hoarding these resources for ourselves, but about using them to serve God and others. This could mean using our money to support the work of our local church, or using our time and talents to serve in our community. It's about making a positive impact in the world around us. Now, stewardship and tithing might sound challenging, especially if you're struggling financially. But remember, it's not about the amount we give, but the heart behind it. Even a small act of generosity can make a big difference. And here's the beautiful part. When we give, we're not left empty-handed. In fact, the Bible promises that God will bless us even more. Not necessarily with wealth, but with peace, joy, and contentment. So let's take a step of faith today. Let's trust in God, not only with our money, but with our entire lives. Let's be good stewards of the resources He's given us, using them not just for our benefit, but for His glory. And remember, with faith in God's provision, we can alleviate our financial worries. At the heart of biblical money mindset is trust. Trust in God's provision. When we truly believe and understand that everything we have comes from God, it shifts our perspective on wealth and possessions. Suddenly, the pressure to accumulate wealth and goods dissipates. Instead, we find ourselves relying on God's generosity and provision, filled with a sense of peace and contentment. However, in contrast to this peaceful trust in divine provision, we often find ourselves ensnared by the trappings of materialism. The relentless pursuit of wealth, the constant craving for the latest and greatest, the insatiable hunger for more, These are all symptoms of a materialistic worldview. Materialism can be a dangerous pitfall, leading us away from the path of contentment and gratitude and into a cycle of constant dissatisfaction and desire. The Bible cautions us against this. In the book of Luke, we're reminded that life does not consist in an abundance of possessions. It's a stark reminder that our worth and happiness aren't tied to the things we own. On the contrary, placing too much emphasis on material wealth can distract us from the truly important aspects of life: our relationships, our purpose, our faith. The Apostle Paul, in his letter to Timothy, warns us that the love of money is a root of all kinds of evil. It's not the money itself that's the problem, but the love of it, the obsession with it, the reliance on it for our happiness and security. When we place our trust in wealth rather than in God, we're setting ourselves up for disappointment. So, how do we combat materialism and foster trust in God's provision? It starts with a change in perspective. We need to view our wealth and possessions not as our own, but as God's, given to us to manage and use wisely for His purposes. This shift in mindset can help us find contentment in what we have, rather than constantly striving for more. Generosity is another cornerstone of this mindset. The Bible teaches us to be generous, to give freely as we have received. Generosity is a key principle in the biblical money mindset, a reflection of the abundance we experience when we view our resources through the lens of faith. It's not about how much we give, but the spirit in which we give. It's about opening our hands and our hearts, knowing that in giving, we are expressing trust in God's provision. But let's take a moment to talk about the flip side of generosity, the love of money. The Bible warns us against falling into the trap of greed, reminding us that the love of money is the root of all kinds of evil. When we start to love money, we run the risk of losing sight of what truly matters. Our priorities shift, our relationships suffer, and we become consumed by the pursuit of wealth. Yet, it's not money itself that's the problem. Money, in its essence, is a tool. It's a resource that can be used for good, to support our families, to help those in need, to invest in our communities. The danger comes when we let money control us, when we let it dictate our decisions, our self-worth, and our happiness. So how do we strike a balance? How do we maintain a healthy perspective on money while living in a world that often equates success with financial wealth? The answer lies in our priorities. The Bible teaches us to seek first the kingdom of God and His righteousness, assuring us that when we do, all our needs will be met. This doesn't mean we should neglect our financial responsibilities or stop striving for success. Rather, it encourages us to keep our eyes fixed on what truly matters: our relationship with God, our love for others, and our desire to make a positive impact in the world. In the end, it's all about perspective. When we view our resources as gifts from God, to be managed wisely and used for good, we experience true abundance. And when we prioritize God's kingdom over material wealth, we discover a peace and fulfillment that money can't buy. Seeking God's kingdom first is the ultimate priority. Jesus said, "Seek first the kingdom of God and His righteousness, and all these things will be added to you." This means that our primary focus should be on cultivating a relationship with the divine, rather than obsessing over our financial status. When we place our trust in God, we find an abundant life that goes beyond mere material wealth. It's a life filled with peace, joy, and fulfillment that money can't buy. Now, let's talk about some practical ways to apply these biblical principles to your financial life. Start by creating a budget that aligns with your values and goals. Save responsibly, planning for the future without hoarding. Be generous, giving to those in need and supporting worthy causes. And remember, avoid debt whenever possible, as it often leads to stress and worry. Remember, the goal is not to amass wealth, but to use it wisely and generously. We hope you found value in exploring the biblical money mindset. It's a journey, and we're here to guide you every step of the way. So why not join our community? Subscribe to our channel, like this video, and make sure to hit that notification button. This way you won't miss out on any of our future content that's designed to empower you in your financial journey. Join us next time as we continue to explore faith and finances. Until then, stay blessed and financially savvy.